The Atlanta Braves have activated Spencer Strider for the series finale in Colorado, hoping for a sweep. This is your 10-minute scouting report for today's game. This is your Braves Today Scouting Report, a production of the Believe Podcast Network and presented to you by FanDuel. I'm Lindsey Crosby. In the next 10 minutes, we're breaking down everything you need to know about this matchup before first pitch. Today, it's the Braves and the Rockies in the series finale, so let's get into it. Both teams have put out their lineups. This is the first post-Ronald Acuna Jr. lineup since he went on the injured list this morning with a hamstring strain. Mauricio Dubon will be leading off for the Braves, playing center field, followed by designated hitter Drake Baldwin. There is a lefty on the mound for Colorado. Second baseman Ozzie Albies batting third to break up the lefties of Baldwin, and cleanup hitter Matt Olson at first base. Austin Riley, who has been really good against lefties this year, even as he struggled against righties, is batting fifth. Eli White will be in left field, batting sixth. Jonah Heim behind the plate batting seventh, which may be the highest he's hit in the order all year. Shortstop Jorge Mateo batting eighth, and right fielder Jose Azocar, called up this morning to replace Ronald Acuna Jr., is batting ninth. So again, Dubon, Baldwin, Albies, Olson, Riley, White, Heim, Mateo, Azocar. This obviously is a new lineup. First time Ronald's been out of the lineup. 24th unique lineup across the team's first 35 games. We'll see if Dubon remains the leadoff hitter against right-handed hitting. Right-handed pitching. I imagine he'll probably swap out for somebody else. On the mound for Atlanta today, Spencer Strider making his 2026 debut. Reminder, he wasn't necessarily great last year. 4.45 ERA. 9.5% walk rate was worse than MLB average. He struck out 24% of batters. The things I'm going to be watching for today from Strider: his velocity, one, and how he maintains it throughout innings; two, his locations; and three, his fastball shape. I know that we've talked a lot about his fastball shape and how he needs to hit a certain induced vertical break number and things like that to be successful. It is Coors Field. Pitches move differently in Coors Field, and I don't believe we're going to get the same idea of the true shape of his fastball in Coors Field today. So let's not jump to conclusions. And I say that knowing that a lot of social media is going to jump to conclusions here. When you look at Colorado's lineup, they've gone back to their right-hand pitcher optimized lineup that they used in game one. Second baseman Eddie Julian leading off, left-handed hitter, followed by another lefty in Mickey Moniak playing left field. And then catcher Hunter Goodman moves to DH for game three. TJ Rumfield at first base is the cleanup hitter, followed by Troy Johnston in right field. Both of those guys are also lefties. And then switch hitter Willie Castro moves from second to third to make room for Edward Julian. Lefty Brett Sullivan is behind the plate, batting seventh. Shortstop Ezekiel Tovar batting eighth, and center fielder Jake McCarthy batting ninth. They keep trying to mix up the lefties and the righties here, but they're now, the way that they put Ezekiel Tovar at 8 and not 9, there is a 3 lefty stretch in here of number 9 hitter Jake McCarthy, followed by leadoff hitter Eddie Julian and left fielder Mickey Moniak at 9, 1, and 2. Now, that's the thing. We've seen them be aggressive with the substitutions, right? Brenton Doyle could come in favor of McCarthy to give them a right-handed hitter. And so I don't think Atlanta is going to be able to take advantage of the run of 3 consecutive lefties, but it is there. It is worth pointing out that it is there. The starter for Colorado is lefty Kyle Freeland. 1-2, 348 on the year. And he's not been as good as the ERA says, right? Expected ERA of 4.13 compared to, again, his actual 3.48. But, struggled in the strikeout department, 19.5% strikeout rate. He's been really good at not issuing walks, 5.7% walk rate. He's been really good at not allowing barrels. And that's despite a ground ball rate that's just slightly better than average, and the fact that he gets hit pretty hard. Right? His hard hit percentage is 40th percentile at 41%. He just doesn't give up barrels. So you're either hitting it hard or you're hitting it in the air. You're not often doing both. Really kind of curious to see kind of, how the Braves approach him there. When he's facing a lefty, he is sweeper four seam dominant. The sweeper is the number one pitch he will throw to left-handed hitters, which makes sense. A sweeper is a great platoon pitch. It has the largest platoon splits of any specific breaking ball in baseball. So 39% sweeper to lefties. He ramps it up even more to start the at-bat. It's that in the four-seamer. When he gets ahead, he rolls out the knuckle curve a little bit more. He completely drops the knuckle curve when he's behind. He instead adds in the cutter when he is behind. His put-away pitch is here, still four-seamer and sweeper. That's the bread and butter. He throws them in every situation. And it's a four-seamer that's not incredibly dominant. It averages 92 miles an hour, but it works for him. When you go to righties, it is four-seam and knuckle curve early. He'll add in the changeup. He'll add in the sweeper when he's ahead. And again, similar to what he does versus lefties, he ramps up the cutter usage when he is behind in the count. He is very eager, I guess, to throw the sweeper with two strikes as a put-away pitch. His most common usage of the sweeper to righties is 0-2, 1-2, 2-2, and 3-2. So when there are two strikes. Something to know here is he is very likely to throw a first pitch strike to a right-handed hitter. He does that a lot. He's not faced a ton of lefties this year, but when he has struggled to throw first pitch strikes, but then he's turned around and gotten the second pitch for a strike, and then often gets the most common lefty outcome for him is 1-0, 1-1, 1-2. Gets behind, battles back with some cutters and things like that, cutters and sweepers, and then he can try to put you away. But for righties, he is very, very strong inclination to throw a strike on the first pitch. Several Braves have seen Kyle Freeland a lot in their careers. 5 different Braves hitters have taken him deep. Watch for Ozzie Albies today. 24 at-bats off of Kyle Freeland. He's hitting .458 with an 1125 OPS. I like Ozzie Albies to get his first homer off of Kyle Freeland today if I had to make a pick there. When you look at the bullpens for both teams, Atlanta's bullpen is in really good shape. They optioned down Anthony Molina to bring back Spencer Strider, and he pitched some last night. So Dylan Leap threw 14 pitches for the 8th yesterday. He should be able to come back. Tyler Kinley's 2 days of rest. Robert Suarez has 1 day of rest. They can all come back. Aaron Bummer hasn't pitched since Thursday. Ronaldo Lopez hasn't pitched since Wednesday. Martin Perez hasn't pitched since Tuesday. Virtually everybody's available here for this one. The only question you have is Didier Fuentes. Are they happy that one day of rest is enough for him to come back, or do they just want to use him once a series? When you look at Colorado's bullpen, a little bit of a shakier situation, but they're still okay. Longman Tanner Gordon used 41 pitches last night. He's going to be down for 2 to 3 days. But outside of that, they should be able to have just about everybody, maybe with the exception of Brennan Bernardino. And the reason that's important, he threw 23 pitches yesterday as the opener in front of Chase Dollander. Bernardino's the only lefty in this pen. And so last time he threw 20-something pitches, they give him 2 days of rest. So if they decide that he is down today, there are no lefties to throw against Atlanta. So as soon as Freeland leaves the game, you can bring in Mike Yastrzemski. You can go to Dom Smith as a pinch hitter if you need to, because you are not going to have any more lefties. So I imagine Jose Azocar might be replaced by Mike Yastrzemski as soon as we get to Freeland coming out of the game there. Again, kind of final things to watch for. One, Braves Today sponsor FanDuel has Atlanta favored by a run and a half. I think that's probably the right line. I like Ozzy Albies' chances today. I do wonder about how well Freeland's going to be able to navigate the top of this lineup. Dubon hits lefties well. We know Baldwin and Olsen have crushed lefties well. Ozzy's been very good against lefties. It feels like it's not a great matchup. And this could absolutely be a scenario where we see first pitch or first inning runs for Atlanta, and they get to play from ahead the entire time. That's your Braves Today scouting report. If you want the deeper analysis, lineup breakdowns, and everything behind the numbers, make sure you're subscribed to Braves Today. Enjoy the game. We'll be back after it with the postcast over on Locked On Sports Atlanta and today's 3 things over at bravestoday.com.